welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So, okay, we have a lot to get through in this particular video. We have Trisha Paytas doing tweets of someone coming forward with information about Shane Dawson, and then we have Daniel, you know Joey Graceffa's ex, he's his own YouTuber now. He's coming forward with his own experience of Shane, which is now feeding into what Trisha is saying, which is what feeding into what the video she's sharing of Peter Mon is saying. Whew. That was a lot. But basically, yes, we have a lot to get through. I have videos to show you, I have tweets to show you, I have just people's own opinions to show you, and we're gonna go through it all bit by bit, and we're gonna talk about it. Oh God, take a moment, bestie. Maybe I need the moment. This is just, every single day there seems to be more and more coming out about this, and just think, this all started by Hair by Jay, which then led on to Jeffree drama, with Shane drama, with Trisha about that, and now every single YouTuber, it seems, is coming forward with their experiences of Shane, and allegedly Shane, like, shit-talking other YouTubers, or them, behind the scenes, that they're now speaking up about, and there's more people coming forward about Shane Dawson, and Jeffree, and the Trisha situation, now, than there ever was during summer, and now, during January, y'all are supposed to be quiet. YouTubers are supposed to be, you know, they're still with their families at home, there's not supposed to be drama. It's normally the period where drama channels, commentary channels, journalists are like, right, we'll take it easy because, you know, there's nothing happening. Because there's nothing to talk about. But this January has just seemed like a complete opposite of that, right? Okay, so let's just get straight into this because there is no need to delay. So, we have Trisha Paytas doing this tweet about the video by Peter Mon, in which he is saying about things that he's heard about Shane Dawson. Now, so Trisha, they got the screenshot from Deaf Noodles, by the way, and he has, Dennis is so like PG, so he's like, he's like scribbled out the swear words. Oh, we say all the swear words on this channel. So, I wonder what, you know, this is. A big, it starts with F and ends in K. What is that naughty word? So, Trisha tweeted, along with this video, which I'm going to show you, it says, a big F you to Shane Dawson. I've been hearing this shit for years and refused to believe it. Trying to set me up. Your loser-ass fiancé that no one cares about also lied his ass off today. So this was in regards to Ryland's podcast, which we went through videos on Trisha talking about that. She was very angry at how Ryland was manipulating and gaslighting her indirectly through the entire situation, but more so his audience, allegedly, on how he just wishes Trisha came to him. And, you know, this wouldn't have happened, and this wouldn't have blown up if Trisha didn't just, you know, say her feelings. And she's coming forward with, here's a text that I did say my feelings, and they're just not wanting to admit it. And so Ryland doing that on the podcast has kind of made this a lot worse, and in doing that, he's made the conversation around Shane a lot more intense. Now, Shane edits Ryland's podcast, Trisha told us, so if this was a decision by both of them, which we obviously know it was, not a smart one, not a smart one. So, a big F you to Shane Dawson. I've been hearing this shit for years and refuse to believe it. Trying to set me up, which is a common denominator we're seeing here, that Shane was allegedly, Trisha saying this, feeding her information to then, you know, go on rants and do exposing videos, and then people be like, Trisha's unhinged. And Trisha's like, I'm now seeing that that's what, you know, Shane wanted me to do, allegedly. Your loser-ass fiancé that no one cares about lied his ass off today. One of my favorite things Trisha said, by the way, was in a TikTok, she was like, you know, Shane is super talented and is gonna come back to YouTube, and, you know, Ryland's marrying Shane. It was just so shady. Oh, God. You guys are both scum. This is one of Trisha's favorite new words we're coming to learn. I can't believe you say shit behind my back all these years. I never. Okay, and then this is the video in which she was quoting from, Peter. Here we go. I love Peter. Peter is like my father on YouTube. I think so.
Or I meet Shane Dawson, and Shane Dawson talks about all these people behind, you know, their backs. Like, he even said things about Trisha Paytas. I've talked about this on here, you know, that, like, Trisha had said something to me to the effect of, like, if I had known that you were going to be in Vegas and Shane was going to be in Vegas, then I would have flown out there. And I said something to him, and he goes, well, she's a pathological liar. And
we're seeing this about Shane, that he loves just, like, diagnosing people with all these, like, things. And then he makes series dedicated to them, trying to be all serious. Now we know that he was just doing it to make fun of the people.
And they all kind of laughed. And I'm like, okay, so this is how you talk about somebody that defends you at any expense. This is how you talk about your... I didn't know. Like, it's weird, you know, when you're sitting in that situation. It's like, imagine yourself sitting with people that you have watched, and it's, like, weird to you that you're even sitting there to begin with.
Okay, and I think it's interesting as well, now all this drama with Peter being brought in as well, and Peter being able to be like, I sat down with Shane, and Shane said this, and, you know, it's like, the question I've always said, where it's like, it gets really weird whenever drama channels or journalists or commentary channels start mingling with the YouTubers they talk about, because obviously they're going to get a bit more biased. I'm not saying Peter's biased, I don't think he is at all. However, I'm just saying, it's really hard whenever you're sitting in front of someone and you're becoming besties with a YouTuber that you're supposed to then talk about. We're seeing it with drama channels who become very biased because they're so up some of these YouTubers' asses. Not Peter, some other ones who we're all aware of. And it's like, they basically sell themselves out so they can be this person's bestie, even though that person literally doesn't care about them. They just know that they have a reach. And so, it's messy now that, you know, Peter's been, can testify, you know, things that he heard Shane say, allegedly, about Trisha. And it's like, on the first meeting, he said all this stuff about Trisha. And it's like, what does he say about Trisha, or other people for that fact, whenever he knows them for a longer period of time? So then Trisha went on to tweet, again, and said, Ryland takes down the first episode of his podcast because he says how he didn't like that Lizzie, his co-host, was friends with someone who betrayed him. But he keeps his deal with the devil, she loves saying all this, by his episode remaining in the cowardly way of disabling comments. So the argument here was that Ryland and his co-host had a fight because she was defending someone or friends with someone that went against Ryland, and Ryland was like, you can't play both ways. And Trisha's like, you're doing that with me, except we were friends for longer than you were friends with Lizzie. I mean, Shane, even longer than that. And so it shows Ryland's hypocrisy then. And then he disabled the likes and dislikes and the comments under his podcast because people were calling him out. Then they went to his other podcast to call him out. Then he fucking disabled them on there as well. And so now he's like disabling people. So it's like, what's the future of the SIP, you know, affectionately called the nap on this channel? What's the future of that going to be like? Because people are not eating that up. So now after this, we have Daniel coming forward with his experience of Shane Dawson. And now, do you hear what I'm telling you here? That it's just seeming like more and more people are coming out by the day. Actually, okay, so I have this tweet by Daniel. He actually did an Instagram comment. It's like a paragraph. Just one last time. I just want to listen to this again.
Shane Dawson talks about all these people behind, you know, their backs. Like, he even said things about Trisha Paytas. Like,
and how many people are now coming forward saying they've heard Shane talk shit about another creator? Put it all together. I said this on my live stream. People are, you know, starting to put it together that Shane, and I think Trisha said it, that Shane makes every YouTuber not like every other YouTuber, but only like one YouTuber, Shane. Because Shane's the one telling them this information that he's so good and everyone else is bad. So they all resort back to Shane's the king, which makes sense on why everyone was so up his ass.
About this on here, you
allegedly.
Know, that, like, Trisha had said something to me to the effect of, like, if I had known you were going to be in Vegas and Shane was going to be in Vegas, and I would have flown out there. And I said something to him, and he goes, well, she's a pathological liar.
So weird.
And they all kind of laughed. And I'm like, okay, so this is how you talk about somebody that defends you at any expense. This is how you talk about your... I didn't know. Like, it's weird, you know, when you're sitting in that situation. It's like, imagine yourself sitting with people that you have watched, and it's, like, weird to you that you're even sitting there to begin with.
Okay, so now let's get into Daniel's comment. I think we're seeing a pattern of behavior here, and we like to say, you know, we'll forgive people or hold them accountable to the level of, you know, if it's done over and over and over again. And it's like so many, this is the thing, so many people have the same memory of Shane in a different way about the exact same, like, thing. If that makes any sense. They're all like, yeah, he shit-talked thing, but then would support them, but he shit-talked them to me. Oh, he shit-talked me to you. You know, people are starting to... So, anyway. Daniel came forward with this. As if commenting under the Peter Mon video. Some, I think Here for the Tea had posted on Instagram and he commented under it. As if this is news about Shane shit-talking his friends. It's not just Trisha coming forward anymore. He always spoke about everyone in capitals. In capitals. He always spoke about everyone behind their backs, including many of the kindest fellow top creators he outwardly supported. Now this makes you wonder, whenever he was doing them series with like Graveyard Girl, you know, being like, oh, you know, she fell down and let's make her relevant again. It puts a different spin on that. Was he allegedly shit-talking her? You know, being like, she lost her relevance. I'm not saying he did. That, again, that's complete speculation, but we're hearing this by so many people. As if this is news, he always spoke about everyone behind their backs, including many of the kindest fellow top creators he outwardly supported. It's what insecure people do best. He has no genuine friends who are in the spotlight at all. None of those kind of people do as they see everyone as... Wait, what? Sorry, this is my tired brain. He has no genuine friends who are in the spotlight. None of those kind of people do as they see everyone... Okay, none of those people do as in, like, support them because they see... Sorry, took me a second there. Because they see... Not him doing a smart comment. They see these kind of people, as in their fellow competitors, as competition or are intimidated, threatened by their success. And then he just ended it. Sad. Oh. So, before we speak about that, I just want to refer back to, again, what Trisha said. A big F you to Shane Dawson. I've been hearing this shit for years about him shit-talking her and refuse to believe it. Trying to set me up. Your loser-ass fiancé that no one cares about also light his ass off today. You guys are both scum. I can't believe you said shit behind my back all these years. Now, that was a big thing for Daniel as well coming forward. Because remember, Joey and Shane were best friends? Joey Graceffa is who Daniel dated. So was Shane shit-talking Joey Graceffa? Was he shit-talking Daniel? Was he shit... It's so weird how so many people have held on to this for so long. You know, that they all have these stories, and it's like they all have such similar stories. What's going on, Shane? Like, this isn't even people being like, oh, Shane's a this or that because of his past actions. They're like, yeah, he was doing this last year. He was doing this a couple of weeks ago. He was doing this a couple of months ago. And someone said something. It was like, Shane's getting cancelled for being on a break for being cancelled. Bestie, like, what are you feeling about this? Mm-hmm. Right. Me too. It's really weird, and again, every single day more and more is coming out and more people are speaking out. I don't know if it's because, you know, Trisha was the final person they needed to speak up or whatever, because Trisha would attack them for speaking out. Remember, Trisha on the Frenemies was attacking, you know, friends who weren't supporting Shane and was like, he did so much for y'all and now she's changed her chin. Maybe it's that. I want to ask you as well, Bestie, why do you think all these people are coming forward now? Because they weren't in the past. Mm-hmm. And do you believe that because so many people are having the same accounts that, like, we have to look at this, like, under a microscope? Mm-hmm. Agreed. Very strange. Very strange. All these people are adults. But you know what? Peter has been speaking up for the longest time. People are just now listening. So credit. And Trisha's only now listening, and obviously other people are as well. It's weird, and it's like, this is like recent Shane behavior that people are now calling out. Damn, ma. You know what I mean? Weird. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, bestie.